Hello, everyone. I'm Stephen Bouchon with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. I hope you're doing well. We're back with another ally interview during COVID-19. Today, we're speaking with Deondre Williams from Georgia. Deondre was diagnosed in 2017 at the age of 38, and these days, he is intent on raising awareness. Deondre is a father of 5, a Little League coach, and founder of his own nonprofit to eradicate homelessness. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, I would definitely appreciate you for having me. It's an honor. I've been waiting for the moment to be able to just share my story and my lifestyle from dealing with colon cancer. So I really appreciate it.
And you have an amazing story. So we'll get right into it. Who are you isolating with, and how's it going?
Right now, it's my family, my kids. They're my joy right now. So my 2-year-old, she runs the house right now. So she's she's very fun. But yeah, my family, my kids, just enjoying each other's time.
Good. So I know that you're not unfamiliar with being a bit isolated. You spent about a month in the hospital when you were diagnosed, right?
Yeah, for a month. That was a tough moment for me. I went in initially, I believe it was September 7th, September 5th, I believe it was, and all the way through October, I was going through some of the toughest times, from having one surgery, them finding the polyp, removing the polyps or whatnot, and going into a second surgery because of a carcinoid tumor. So that full month for me was a rough one.
Yeah, a lot of people are, isolating right now. They're feeling pretty alone. I feel like you might have some words of advice for them. What kept you motivated during that month you were in the hospital?
Well, for me, and yeah, it's tough. So I'm gonna be very transparent. The toughness of it all is just simply, first of all, you have to understand that the situation is what it is. So you're diagnosed already. You have been diagnosed with your disease, with your cancer, and you can't do anything about it from that point. So what kept me motivated after the initial emotional uh, process of it all, right? So it was what I had to come back to. So for me, it was me making sure I come back to my family. So that my thought process is, I'm not going to die in this hospital. I need to get home because I have a family to attend to. Everybody that's going through it, you just simply have to find that why, that strength of what makes you tick.
Earlier, or last week rather, we spoke for a short time, and you told me when it comes to cancer, it's kind of about what you know. And you were speaking about it in regards to your father. So I was hoping you could tell me just a little bit more about that now.
Yeah, so at the time, obviously, I didn't know. Before being diagnosed with cancer, I didn't know anything about it. I just knew my father had it. I didn't know any extra measures that it took. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know symptoms. I didn't know anything. For my father, he was dealing with cancer, and what they told me was, because he was diagnosed, I was supposed to get screened, and my father was diagnosed at 25. So I was supposed to get screened 10 years later, which was at 15, or 10 years earlier, which is at 15. We not knowing it, my father not knowing it, and now that I know it, I can transfer that information to my kids.
Knowing that family history is extremely important, and I'll be sure to add to this video a family history diagram where people can go and ask their relatives, their immediate family, what kind of cancer have you suffered from? Because this just isn't something a lot of people talk about, but it's extremely important. Also extremely important is keeping the kids engaged and entertained during COVID-19. How are you doing that? How are you dealing with the kids right now?
Games. They love,
Games.
yeah, games, right? Well, of course, you know, and many of us know that now these are the times of the electronics. So uh, I try to keep them away from it as much as I can. So the YouTubes and the being on the tablets and phones all day, I try to limit that and be more engaged with them. So we have
Right.
the older game. I'm 38, so Twister was a game that we used to play back in the day. So
Yeah.
we introduced it. We introduced it to the kids, and a 2-year-old, of course, she thought she knew what she was doing, but she tried.
You're sharing your story with the Alliance now, but you've been out there in the community telling people about your journey and providing encouragement for some time, right?
I reached out because I was so stuck on, okay, you know, this can't be, it can't just be that. Okay, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, and I didn't want to just stop it. Okay, by being directly affected by it, I said, well, let me reach out to find out what I can do in the community purpose in the community so that we can, you know, shine more light on it. So with my organization that you mentioned, I did have a colon cancer awareness event. I hosted and had food, and people came out and had a good time there. And then Stephen also introduced me to individuals at a church that I spoke at. Now, the opening that it gave me was to be able to speak at a men's conference and stuff like that. So the sky's the limit, but you know, I welcome it because we have to shine that light again on our situation and can't take it lightly.
Deondre, I want to say thank you for joining us today on this call. Your story is incredible. You're an awesome dad. I'm so glad that you could be here with us today. I hope that everything goes well during COVID-19, and thanks again.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for having me. Y'all take care.